Ramit Sethi is an American writer and author of 2009 New York Times bestseller I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He also has a YouTube channel where he advises people about finances and how to live a financial freedom life. This video is about his 10 rules to build up a life-changing wealth. So here it starts. Number 1, emergency fund. It's always best to have an emergency fund saved up in your account. Ramit mentions that it used to be 6 months before, but post pandemic, we have realized we need more money in our emergency fund to last us at least 1 year. So, how much do we have to save? Take your spendings on basic necessities now for 1 month duration and multiply it by 12. That will be your amount for emergency fund, which will last you for 1 year. Basic necessities can include your rent, your groceries, anything which will sustain you in your daily life. He says that any account which is easily accessible to you should not be the account which has the emergency fund. So in our setup, we have access to our savings account. So it won't be a good idea if you want to keep the emergency fund in that savings account. Instead, we have other options like recurring accounts and fixed deposits. So if you want to keep an emergency fund, it's always better to have less access as you'll not be having the urge to spend that emergency fund. Rule number 2, rule of 10 and 20. The rule of 10 and 20 means you spend 10% of your gross income for emergency fund and 20% in investment. Investment can be anything related to stocks, bonds, commercial paper, index funds, or even any assets which generates your income. When you have achieved your 1 year emergency fund, you can add that 10% to your investment pool, making it 30%. This number can always be flexible depending upon your financial situation. Number 3, pay in full. This rule will feel unrealistic for most of us, but Ramit says for big things like houses, weddings, you should not be in debt. You should plan beforehand and have savings and in this for this kind of events pay in full. Number 4, never caution spending. In this rule, Sethi says spend extravagantly on the things you love. Like one of his example is appetizer. Sethi loves appetizer, that's why he doesn't have any second thoughts when spending on it. Other examples are like books and donation, which definitely enriches one's life. In this rule, what Sethi wants to say is that if we have something you love, like hobbies and all, never give a second thought when you are going to spend. Number 5, fly business flights. Yes, if you are going on a flight, take a business flight. According to Sethi, it's always better to lead a rich life. Although in our case, we don't have to travel frequently through flights, we can always choose to stay in a standard hotel when we travel through road, which will be comfortable instead trying to save money in cheap motels. Number 6, buy the best. In our culture, it's a norm to find a cheap product and bargain before buying in order to save money. But if you think in the long term, a better quality expensive product will be cheaper than a low quality cheap product. For example, buying a flagship phone and using it for 5 to 7 years with updated software will always be cheaper than buying and changing a non-flagship phone every now and then. Number 7, health and education. Remember the trifecta of life: rich, healthy, and happy. Well, if you're not healthy, no way you will be happy. So don't hesitate to spend money on anything which will boost your health. And also education, which always boosts self improvement. Number 8, work with people you like. How do we get to work with people we like? Earn enough to start your own business, starting an entrepreneurship where you can hire people you like, which is proven to improve the outcome of the business. No institute or business would be successful with human resource disliking each other. Rule number 9, spend time outside the spreadsheet. So in this rule, Ramit Sethi advises to prioritize time outside the spreadsheet. Once you have taken care everything about the investment and the savings, go outside, travel, meet loved ones, exercise, take part in events, which Ramit Sethi describes it as the rich life. Rule number 10, marry the right person. Last but not the least, the rule which Sethi describes as the most important, where the person you marry will be the biggest financial decision you will ever make. This individual will impact where you live, where your savings, your career, retirement, what you eat, and your family structure. In summary, choose someone whose values are aligned with yours.